A mixed session on Wall Street today, June 26. While the major indexes ended nearly flat, the story beneath the surface was far more interesting. The S&P 500 slipped less than 0.1%, the Nasdaq edged down 0.25%, and the Dow dipped about 0.1%. The real action was in semiconductors, where the SOX index tumbled over 5%, creating a sharp divide between chip stocks and the rest of the market. The VIX, Wall Street's fear gauge, eased to around 18.4, suggesting investors were not panicking despite the tech sell-off. Here's where the picture gets interesting: more stocks rose than fell by a wide margin, meaning the average stock actually had a decent day. The broad market strength did not line up with the flat index moves, and that tells us the selling was concentrated. Utilities led, jumping nearly 5%, followed by healthcare up 4% and industrials gaining 3.5%. On the weak side, energy dropped nearly 6% alongside falling oil prices, and communication services lost over 5%. The megacap tech group, often called the Magnificent Seven, was a mixed bag today. Microsoft stood out with a 5.7% jump after announcing a major AI partnership, and Apple gained over 3%. Amazon rose 2.5%, while Meta and Tesla each added around 1%. But NVIDIA slipped 1.6%, and Alphabet fell nearly 2%, reflecting the chip weakness. Among the most actively traded names, American Airlines saw heavy volume, Nokia dropped nearly 7%, and SoFi Technologies gained over 3%, showing retail interest in financial technology. In the rates and commodities space, Treasury yields were steady, with the 10-year note at 4.4% and the 2-year at 4.09%, keeping the spread at around 0.31 percentage points, a mildly steep curve that typically signals economic caution. The US dollar edged slightly lower. Gold gained over 1% to trade above $4,080 an ounce, while silver and copper also rose about 1 to 2%. Oil was the outlier here. WTI crude dropped over 3% to near $70, raising questions about demand. Looking ahead, markets will be watching several key events in the coming weeks. On July 3, we get the June non-farm payrolls report, and U.S. markets will be closed that day for Independence Day observance. On July 14, the June Consumer Price Index or CPI reading arrives. The Federal Reserve's next rate decision comes at the end of July. The FOMC meeting starts July 28 with the decision and press conference on the 29th. And on July 30, the June Personal Consumption Expenditures or PCE inflation data is due. That wraps up today's market recap. Data is for informational purposes only, not investment advice.